Once again, Bikini Atoll becomes the scene of the most dramatic nuclear explosion of all. For days, the target center and observation posts buzz with activity as weather planes circle the entire blast area, waiting for the most ideal conditions that will prevent disastrous radioactive fallout, the most difficult problem that must be solved in the Titanic blast. Once again, weather planes make a last-minute check.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A brilliance of 500 suns lights hundreds of miles of the Pacific, and the force of 1,000,000 tons of TNT is released. "15 seconds later, the light is still unbearable. Observers may well squint, for they may have witnessed a prelude to world destruction."
For the day of shot number 1, the meteorologists had predicted a wind condition which should have carried the fallout to the north of the group of small atolls lying to the east of Bikini. The survey aircraft carefully searched the area and reported no shipping. The shot was fired. The wind failed to follow the predictions, but shifted south of that line, and the little islands of Rongelet, Rongerik, and Utrik were in the edge of the path of the fallout.
Imkinam jaji kage kenyalo ulano ayo kenar pido giyokom kenar tinglang mangar remeo paraino chakarbuko rabarbuko takan yalo inem ikionian menoko.
Although fallout was studied in the classic way, the high yield plus a wind factor caused contamination of distant populated atolls, providing a completely new source of study on these effects and showing graphically the tremendous area of contamination from a high yield surface burst.
The U.S. weather folks who were working at the time knew that the winds were headed towards an inhabited atoll, and they knew that the power of this test would carry radiation that far. And the U.S. government purposely decided not to relocate that community before detonating the test.
The people testing these bombs knew that the people of the Marshalls depend entirely on rainwater for their drinking water. There are no rivers or well waters that you can drink in the northern Marshalls. Yet no warning was given that rainwater would become contaminated after these shots.
They waited 3 days to evacuate Rongelet. 3 days is a long time when your atoll is irradiated.
The 66 Marshallese evacuated by destroyer arrived late in the evening of March the 3rd. These individuals had taken numerous showers and prolonged washings with saltwater sprays while aboard the destroyer. Clothing was not removed for showers and washing. Robert Sharp, U.S. Navy.
Changes in the average wind vector as the falling dust moves across country can cause major distortion of the fallout pattern, could blanket large segments of population. And note that inside this 450 Roentgen border, the dose accumulated by H plus 50 hours climbs quickly to 100% lethal for exposed humans.
Project 4.1 was a biomedical experiment to understand the effects of radiation on human beings so that if the U.S. troops were to be exposed to radiation, or if the American public was to be exposed to radiation from Soviet or other threat, then the U.S. military would better understand what radiation would do to the people who are exposed. The Marshallese were essentially the guinea pigs for the U.S. military to know what radiation does to people.
The most highly contaminated areas of the body were the head and hair and areas of skin not protected by clothing.
I had Marshallese tell me that they had burns from the radiation that went through their skin all the way down to their bones, and they were in agony, just sheer agony. And when they were put into the Project 4.1 and they were with a doctor, the doctors took photographs of them. They didn't give them any pain relief. The idea was not to treat or assist in the healing of the patients. It was to document what the radiation does.
The exposure of these individuals afforded a unique opportunity to study the effects of radiation in man.
A full month after the event, the medical staff on Kwajalein have advised us that they anticipate no illness, barring, of course, diseases which may be hereafter contracted. The result which the scientists at Los Alamos and Livermore had hoped to obtain from these two tests were fully realized. An enormous potential has been added to our military posture by what we have learned.